amazing that this is not the story that it should be. I mean, this is a massive story. This is a Watergate-type story, and this is not being covered like Watergate. That we know.
And Donald, wasn't even good enough for ABC to put it on the air. In fact, they cut it out of their online interview and on air, and it only ended up being printed at one point in an ABC News article. But they cut it out. But they did include his comments about dismissing Sarah Palin's calls for impeachment. They felt that was, I guess, good enough to put on the air. What'd you make of the media coverage of that?
Well, they did, and that was put on in a very nasty way, and it was, I thought it was a pretty tough statement about Sarah. Sarah's, making a point, and it's a point whether you like it or not, but that did not get much coverage, and that's something that also should have gotten much coverage. And there are more and more people that are going along with what Sarah Palin's saying. So it's a very unfair double standard. It is not surprising. But the IRS situation is such a serious thing, and it's getting so little coverage, it's incredible. But I have a feeling that maybe at some point that will be rearing its head. It just can't. This they cannot get away with.
Well, but you make a great point. Nobody's covering it except Fox, and you're talking about it, and it's on the radio, and it's on the internet. But they did see a juicy little tidbit in there where Eric Holder could badmouth Sarah Palin, saying she was a lousy candidate for vice president, and she's a lousy judge of who ought to be impeached.
It was a tough statement. I watched that statement, and I didn't see about IRS, but I did see that statement, and I thought it was a tough statement.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to make the decision in the media. Someone had to make the decision at ABC to cut that portion of the IRS interview out and decide to put the Sarah Palin chunk in. That was a clear decision.
If you watch network news, you won't see any of this stuff, and you certainly don't see anything or very much about the IRS.
Why is that, Donald? Why is that?
Right. Why don't the American people deserve to know?
And you wouldn't think it could be so concerted, but amazingly, they're protecting the president.